What is up, guys? Icy Hot Clan here, jumping in with my first ever JRP video, guys. It's going to be a little different. I will be catching you guys up on previous stuff that's happened in my characters' lives before I start recording in-game. So yeah, basically, I'll be covering I will be covering three major storylines for my characters in each video. As you guys can see, I have 6 plus my LEO character. But yeah, I'm gonna start off with my first character, my first storyline, which is about a guy named Henry Rodriguez, who has a thing out for my character. But yeah, so basically, as you guys can see, I'll real quick show you the layout. I have the top here, which is before my character is born, or like my character's past, and then the rest is all current events. So, as you guys can see, basically, ever since Darnell was born, into the Ballers, his dad was the old head of the Ballers, or Ballers, however you want to say it. Darnell had an alright childhood, you know, protecting his little brother Terry, who is my other character. Darnell graduated high school as a pretty good student. He learned to drive at the age of 10 and shoot at the age of 11, which is a good thing for my character. Darnell was very good with his, you know, negotiation and business in high school. So I'll basically now cover what's happened so far in the storyline. So, Darnell hit the streets of Grove Street, as he's the head of the Ballers now. And meets a guy who later on, next episode, we'll be talking about, who is actually part of the Red Skulls. He meets up with them, as you guys can see, Red Skulls. Him and Darnell build a very good friendship and trust. During Darnell's time through the city, he's gathered multiple warrants, where we will discuss that in my personal problem story. He then goes into hiding as a special task force is after him, which we're going to be dealing with next video. While Darnell is hiding, he gets a call from his brother Terry, where it's basically just me relaying information, telling him that the guy named Henry Rodriguez, who is Darnell's associate, who works for the DOJ, said that he wants Terry to snitch on him. Darnell tells Terry to do whatever he needs to do. Terry tells Darnell his plan, which we're going to cover with his side, which is basically to send a fake baller or a different baller member to meet up with Mr. Rodriguez. Darnell gets a call that the fake Terry was killed. Basically what happened was Henry shot and killed the baller member that went to meet up. Darnell goes and picks up Terry from the Ace Liquor, and Darnell basically drives back to Grove with Terry and calls Giacchini, which later on you guys will probably get to see in-game. We'll be figuring out what to do with Mr. Rodriguez. So basically now we're going to be going to Terry's side, which is bigger, because like I said, I had my one character in hiding, bringing out his brother. But Terry was also born into the Balls, as you know, his dad is the head. Terry had a rough childhood growing up living on Grove. Terry learned to shoot at the same age, I'm pretty sure, as Darnell. He graduated as a very good student in high school. During his years, Terry learned how to prank people, such as his teacher and all that. During his years of high school, he mastered trickery. He joined the Balls at the age of 16 after graduating and became the third in command of the Ballers after the second command died, which will be later set in a storyline with the Vagos, which I stopped the setup with the Vago head. After that, basically these are, just so you guys know, these happened in past. Once my character meets the Vagos, there'll probably be a storyline that you guys will get to see happen in-game. But once the second command died, Terry took second in command. Basically, Terry, when I first brought out Terry, he hit the streets of Sandy Shores to start his journey. He robs a store as he was a little low on money. A cop actually drives by while robbing it. Terry gets freaked out. He has an AK-47 in his hand. Terry starts opening fire on the police interceptor, or the Ford Taurus, as it is. He runs to his bike while being shot at from the officer. He gets away and gets help from a security guard the security guard gets pulled over. The officer that pulled over the security guard was asking the security guard that he saw that there was a blanket in the back and that somebody could possibly be laying under it. Terry basically, as it says here, once the cop lets the security guard go because he has no evidence, the security guard drops Terry off at his place, or the Ace Liquor, and Terry gets one of his pickup trucks out of storage, and he steals a pickup truck, correction. He starts driving towards Sandy Shores, gets lit up by the same Ford Taurus, where he takes the officer on a pursuit, where Terry gets shot, and the officer also gets shot in the face, Terry gets shot in the shoulder. The officer died. Another officer came, which was Henry Rodriguez, and took Darnell to the hospital, where Darnell tried to put a hit on Mr. Rodriguez's head. Mr. Rodriguez then takes Darnell to the satellite dish, Terry to the satellite dishes, where Terry gets a gun, where basically Henry says, if you don't snitch on Darnell, I'm gonna kill you. Terry says he will snitch on Darnell, but then automatically goes down the street, calls Darnell, and lets Darnell know that Henry wants him to snitch. After that, Terry calls a probationary Bala, who goes and talks to Mr. Rodriguez, and actually gets killed, as him and Mr. Rodriguez got into a major gunfight. During that gunfight, the probationary Bala was shot in the face and injured, who later died in hospital. Like I said, his name was John King. Terry basically then tells Darnell that. Terry gets picked up by Darnell, and they head back to Grove, where that's basically where that part of the storyline ended for that little bit. But yeah, so basically now we're on to the ISP, or Illinois State Police, war storyline, which is basically where the Balls have declared war on the Illinois State Police. So we're going to go into Darnell, where his is actually pretty good. Basically, Darnell has always hated any LEO in Illinois, whether that be the CPD, the ISP. He likes the CCSO, or the Cook County Sheriff's Office, a little more. Especially the ISP, or Illinois State Police, Darnell hates the most. The state police always harassed Darnell as a kid, and his father was also harassed while Darnell was a kid. They always found a way to stop Darnell and his dad. Darnell's father, always. They would always stalk Darnell and Terry and their father. Darnell's father actually died in a shootout with the Illinois State Police on 13 near Vinewood. When Darnell found it out, it made his hate for the state police 10 times bigger. Okay. So, when Darnell gets stopped by the Illinois State Police for the third time in 10 minutes, he shoots the trooper when they walk up to the window. He runs then from multiple officers. When he crashes his car, he's still good. He gets out and shoots down a Chicago police officer. He then footbails and shoots another ISP trooper in the face while responding. Then 4 days later, a hit was put out on the ISP commissioner's head for $10 million. When Darnell gets pulled over, he realizes it's the commissioner. Darnell grabs his AP pistol from the glove box, gets out and shoots the trooper multiple times the commissioner multiple times in the face, killing the commissioner. The next day, Darnell was helping someone out, which is Zucchini, where it later gets set in Red Skulls. Basically, did a drive-by shooting on two ISP troopers, shooting him in the back of the head. Then gets in a pursuit where he grabs out an AK-47 and kills the CPD officer that was chasing him. He then steals the car and gets away. The next day, where part of these are passed before another storyline happens. These are not in order, just FYI. He was helping the next day Henry Rodriguez from the police and gunned down 3 ISP troopers up in Mirror Park, including the brand new ISP commissioner. So yeah, I have to actually add something to this because it happened a few days ago. Darnell basically, I'll say it now while I'm typing it. Darnell killed. He killed 2. He went on a rampage yesterday and actually killed 2 more ISP troopers. Actually, no, it was 3 ISP troopers. No, it was, okay, sorry guys. It was 2 ISP troopers and a CPD officer. No, it wasn't. Wait, was it a CPD? No, it was a CCSO deputy. And Darnell. And he basically gets away from the shooting. You know, I don't really have much to add for it. Terry's storyline is a little smaller because I don't really bring out Terry much because Darnell is doing more of the heavy work. But yeah, Terry has always hated the ISP because they harassed him and his older brother Darnell, and also their father. Terry was actually arrested at the age of 7 because he stole a candy bar from a 24/7. The person who arrested him was the ISP trooper. The store owner said no to charges, but the trooper still arrested him, even though the person did not want to press charges. Terry's hate grew even more when the ISP killed his father, going back to where Darnell happened. When Terry first hit the streets of Los Santos, the ISP followed him around multiple blocks. Terry saw this and he started to speed up. The ISP flicked on his lights, and Terry ran from him. Terry got away from the ISP, and they didn't know who it was because the car was stolen. Like I said, Terry's not had many stuff with the ISP, because when I do bring him out, most of the LEO are focusing on actually the head of the Red Skulls, which later gets shown on in the, the next 3 storylines, which will be covered later. But then you got the Merryweather storyline, which is one of the weirder storylines of mine that's happening with Darnell because of how it got brought on to Darnell and Terry. But, you know, it helped Darnell make some money for Grove. But Darnell has always disliked Merryweather because they would always act like they're so tough, yet when the head of the Bottlers or Darnell's father called them out on a fight, they basically never showed. Darnell's father had always had beef with Merryweather, but they always had better things to do than shoot at Merryweather and all that. But, well, one day, Darnell was just chilling in Grove, you know, not doing anything, when the general of the United States military showed up there and walked towards Darnell. When Darnell asked the general why he was there, the general basically said to him, "I'm here because I need to talk to you," handed Darnell an envelope. The general asked Darnell to help out in a war. Darnell basically said, well, what kind of war? The general said it was a war against Merryweather Security Corp. Darnell looked inside the envelope. There was $50,000 in cash. Darnell said yes to helping with the war. Put the envelope inside his pocket. Grabbed his AP pistol and AK-47. Grabbed body armor from his house. And walked to his car. So like I said, Terry does not have a big storyline for this because, like I said, rarely bring him out. And when I do, Merryweather's not on, or it's a different situation. But Terry has always shared hate for Merryweather, just like his brother and his father. Terry would always watch out the window and see his dad yelling at some Merryweather guys. He remembered his dad attacking one of the Merryweather guys. Terry gets a call from Darnell saying that he was paid $50,000 to help against war with Merryweather. Terry says he will get some plans together to kill Merryweather. Security Corps officers or that. But yeah, that's really it for this. I can probably show you guys something actually. Thinking of something I could show you that I can't get yelled at for, even though I'm the founder. I can't really show this because I don't know what it will open in here. Let me check real quick. Yeah, that's gonna open staff chat. That's names and everything. I can probably show you some. Oh no, that's gonna spoil something for later. I can show up here probably, but that might spoil a few things too. But that's why I'm going fast. Right here, basically, as you can see, Darnell loves tweeting. Loves tweeting about things, and as you can see, one of the other people also asked Darnell if they want to make $50,000. But yeah, I'm thinking of something else I could show you guys that I won't get yelled at for. Even though, as you guys can see, I am the founder of the server. Oh, just might as well leak my own shit while I'm at it. But yeah. How long is that? Yeah, that's good enough. Alright, guys, but that will do it for part 1 of the recap. If you guys want to see part 2, I will have a link down in the description to the series. But yeah, guys, that will do it for this JRP recap video, guys. I will see you next time. Peace out.